These are the rappers who describe the gangs, violence, and criminal life in Sweden. Hello guys, and welcome to a new video. We all know that there have been a lot of gang activity in Sweden in the last couple of years. And some of the people connected to these are famous rappers, some even famous in all of Europe. Today we are going to take a look at the Swedish rappers who have been to prison or are currently serving time. First up on the list we have Salah Abdullah, better known as Drilo. Salah is a rapper from Stockholm with Somali origin. In 2020, he received 2 awards at the P3 Gold event, Artist of the Year and Artist of the Future. But on the 1st of November 2021, Abdullah was sentenced to 1 year in prison in Solna District Court. Together with some other men, Abdullah had robbed a shop in Kista outside Stockholm in August. The Solna District Court wrote in the judgment that the behavior was threatening and that they ignored requests to pay the goods. In January 2022, Drilo actually came out and said that he was done with music and that he needed to focus on improving himself, doing better, and greater things. Almost all of his songs have been deleted and he has not created anything since. On Instagram, he uploaded a picture of himself on a trip to Mecca, where you could see he had lost a ton of weight and seemed to be improving himself like he said he would. One Cuz, the 24-year-old rapper who grew up in the Swedish suburb of Hässelby, is known for wearing a baklava mask, a move he took at the start of his career to create a clear separation between his personal and public life. One Cuz got his big break in 2018 with the debut single Akta Mannen, followed by a debut album that went to #1 on the official album charts in Sweden. His most popular song, Forsent, known as part of the official soundtrack of the Netflix series Snabba Cash, became his first #1 single with over 65 million streams. Last year, he developed a friendship with the superstar Ed Sheeran, which resulted in One Cuz making his own version of the song Two Step from Ed's latest album. The song topped the Swedish charts again and was recently certified platinum. In 2017, One Cuz was seen going out of a taxi and delivering a bag to a restaurant. The police got a hold of the bag. In the bag, they found an AK-47 and 2 plastic bottles full of ammunition. One Cuz got charged with aggravated weapons offense and had to serve 18 months in prison. After his release in 2018, he dropped the song Akta Mannen. It was immediately a hit. After being released, One Cuz has chose to focus on getting out of the gang life and working on his music.
Purchase your tracks today.
Haval Khalil. Haval Khalil is a Swedish rapper, also from Husby, Stockholm. He broke through with his debut album, In La Rock, in 2020, an album produced by Manny Flacco. The songs on the album received great numbers on streaming platforms despite rapping about the street life. In April 2021, Haval was nominated for a Swedish Grammy for the Newcomer of the Year category. The nomination caused controversy due to Haval's involvement in gangs and in a criminal case where charges had been brought against him. On March 29, 2014, several people and a security guard were threatened during a brutal robbery of a jewelry store in Oslo. The 3 armed robbers, Haval being one of them, started firing several shots right outside of the business, and then moved inside of the store and chose to grab everything they could, focusing on the most expensive items. In just a couple of minutes, they flew the scene into a getaway car and drove off. The car was quickly found by the police, but the men had set it on fire before they made their escape. Police forces launched a large-scale search operation after the robbery. A few days later, 2 of the people who were suspected of participation in the robbery were arrested. The tracks led to Sweden, and after several weeks of collaboration with the Swedish police, several Swedish citizens were arrested there. The robbers managed to get away with jewelry estimated to be worth around $130,000. All three men were caught in just a couple of days, but the police didn't manage to restore any of the stolen goods, and they never did either. However, the three men got charged with repossession of the stolen jewelry, which means that they are each responsible for paying back a third of the $130,000. The three men, including Haval, got sentenced to prison for 3 years and 10 months. When Haval was serving his 3-year sentence in Norway, he started writing. It was during this time that he wrote his first song, which he brought with him after being released from prison. He then released his first song, Klass 1, and the rest is history.
Klass 1, oh mamma, ingen student eller klassfest. Det är skitsamma, ändå på gatan jag lärd mest. Låt mig stanna.
Yasin Abdullahi Muhammad was born to a Somali family in Rinkeby, Sweden. He started in hip-hop music, recording online videos with his childhood friends, including Jafar Bean. That led him into joining the Swedish hip-hop collective Bean Block Entertainment with aspiring artists, mostly from Rinkeby, with Yasin being one of the most played artists in Sweden, topping the list with every song he makes. Despite having hundreds of millions of views and receiving several awards, Yasin has been in and out of prison many times. In May 2018, Muhammad was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months imprisonment for aggravated weapon-related crimes. He was released after serving 2/3 of his sentence. Just a couple of months after being released from prison, Yasin got taken to custody again after a 20-year-old man was shot in the head on 30th December 2019. The 20-year-old was found in a car in Rinkeby with a bulletproof vest on. When the police arrived at the scene, the man was still alive, but died shortly after in the hospital. Several masked people were seen running from the scene. And that same night, 3 men were arrested in a car on Södermalm in Stockholm. A total of 7 suspects were taken into custody, Yasin being one of them, all connected to the criminal network Shatas. 2 were released early, Yasin being one of them. 2 more were released after a prison meeting in Solna District Court. Just a year later, on the 31st of December 2020, Muhammad was arrested and detained on the charge of kidnapping rival rapper Einar. Yasin was sentenced to 10 months in prison by Stockholm District Court in 2021. Haval, the rapper we just talked about, was also sentenced to 2.5 years for involvement in the kidnapping together with Yasin. It's hard to say if it was true or not. At the time, many got the impression that it maybe was a PR stunt. But when everyone saw that both was not released right away, many took it as legit. Both Haval and Yasin were later released from prison a year later on the 28th of December 2021. With how popular Yasin is, the media likes to write everything about him, and there have been a lot of posts of him being involved in several cases other than the ones we talked about. But since his release in 2021, it looks like he has tried to move away as much as possible from the gang life and become more focused on the music.
Det är misär varje dag, hela dagen huvudet pumpar. Jagar mitt leverbröd på kvällen vi skumpar. Vill inte se min mamma bland tårar och svik. Vill inte se min lillebroder råna en butik. Jag vill sitta i en jetplan, trixa en afghan. Brorsan jag på en bankomat, 7-siffrig såklart. Folk snackar jag är ortens surprise.
Jafar Bean. Jafar Ahmed Sadiq, better known as Jafar Bean, or the initials JB. He was born in Rinkeby, Stockholm, Sweden, and his parents being from Somalia. Sadiq's career in hip-hop can be said to have started in 2013, when together with childhood friends like Yasin, he started the hip-hop collective Bean Block Entertainment, BBE. In 2016, BBE, which only included artists from Rinkeby, transitioned into a wider collaboration across Sweden in the form of the new hip-hop collective Ghetto Superstars. Ghetto Superstars have gained a lot of attention, and their music has millions of streams on YouTube and Spotify. In 2019, Jafar Bean was convicted of serious weapons offenses after being linked to 3 weapons, one of them being an AK-47. He himself posed with the gun on several photos found on a mobile phone. Sadiq was sentenced extra harshly according to a new Swedish law because he was labeled as a gang criminal in a network that police call Shatas. Yaffar was charged with aggravated weapons offense, illegal driving, and possession of drugs with intent to sell. The court gave him 3 years and 6 months in prison. Being behind bars, he started working on an album. He was pretty well known and had millions of streams before he was sentenced. But this album was him trying to take it to the next level. In October 2020, he was released from prison, and just a few weeks later, he dropped Pistol Whip.
Brukar windows-shoppen och jag köper vad jag vill. Här inga kasser med folk står i kön om det någon skulle ske. Attentatsförsök, undvik Karo, Linska, kör mig till säs. Det blev filter på min joint som en avgasrör.
Which got right on the top list of Sweden. Yasin was close to Bean, which we also talked about in this video. They worked together and made some collabs, and they both have managed to stay out of prison for the last couple of years. They both together have hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify and YouTube, and they both are considered one of the best rappers in all of Sweden. So that's it for this video. There are many more Swedish rappers who have been to prison, but we covered the most famous ones. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I will continue making this type of content in the future. Let me know if you have any video ideas in the comments. Later guys, take care.